Warning, Hebrews Toys Reviews is not intended for children. It is for adult collectors and the people over the age of 18.
Hello everybody, Hebrew77 here. A couple announcements I'd like to make. First of all, I know I haven't been putting out a whole lot of content here lately. There's been a lot going on with this whole coronavirus thing, and plus I've been doing some other projects. I just completed a stop motion James Bond movie that I have. It's up on my other channel. I'll share the link somewhere, either in this video or in the next. The second thing I'd like to say is to everybody knows him as Hooded Cobra Commander 788. I'd like to wish him all the best. I know he's been going through some stuff, and we just hope to see him, back. Of course, we want him to take his time and all the time that he needs, and I'd like to wish him well. But anyway, also, you guys need to check out Joe Motion. Joe Motion, the guy puts out a lot of really good stuff. He's got Joe Motion. He breaks things down a little slower. He takes his time with things. He doesn't rush his reviews. So yeah, overall, good channel. Go check him out. I'll send the link down in the description. And now let's begin the review. This week's review is 1986 General Hawk. I will be making comparisons with him and the 1982 Colonel Hawk. So please stick around. We're going to have some fun. Let's get down to the 1986 General Hawk G.I. Joe toy review. We are with the 1986 General Hawk. Some of you people may be asking, well, what is that backpack doing on there? That's not General Hawk's backpack. Although it might be, I don't know, but I thought I had his backpack and gun in the case, my G.I. Joe collector's case, which I'll do a review on sometime in the future. But I have a lot of the weapons in a Ziploc bag and put away in storage. I do a lot of G.I. Joe stop motion movies, which I will upload on this channel eventually. But let's take a look at G.I. Joe General Hawk. This is the 1986 G.I. Joe General Hawk, and before him came in 1982 the Colonel Hawk, and which a lot of people don't know. The ones that just watched a cartoon like I did not know that there actually was another Hawk. And I didn't even realize it. And I didn't even realize it until years later as an adult collector, that there was, in 1982, a different Hawk. But we'll get to that here in just a minute. Now, he did come with the 1982 Hawk, came with the missile. I can't think of the name of it right now offhand, but I will review him and the mobile missile unit, whatever that thing was that he came with, at a different time. But as I take off his helmet, shoot, as I take off his helmet, notice the blonde hair. And I'm not sure what they were thinking when they brought out the 1986 General Hawk. But as you can see here, oh, damn. He has brown hair. And I know that a lot of reviews have been done over the years on General Hawk that have pointed this out. But right now, I wanted to take a look at some of the qualities that I used to like on General Hawk as a kid. If you look closely at his shoulder, this one, excuse me, I gotta cut my fingernails. This one is so faded you really can't tell, but there's actually a star on this shoulder, and there's a star on this shoulder here. It's there, you can kind of still see it, but those rubbed off a lot because they were painted in that gold paint that often does rub off, as you can see here on the gun that he has that's in his holster there. And of course the 2000 not 2000, the 25th anniversary of General Hawk came with an actual holster that has a gun, and I was not particularly impressed with the anniversary General Hawk. I didn't like that figure. And here you have the helmet, which I showed earlier, and notice his head's a little bit wobbly. That is because I've had this figure taken apart and put back together a couple times, and I've got the screw in there as tight as I'm going to get it, so that's not the issue. I'm not quite sure what the issue is, but anyway, then you've got some, looks like some decorations here, some war decorations. I'm not sure what exactly they are, if there's like a Medal of Honor, or maybe that's just his rankings as he went up in ranking. He is a brigadier general, a one-star general, and he has this brown bomber jacket, and I always loved as a kid this brown bomber jacket. In fact, oftentimes I would pretend that he was a pilot and would fly missions in World War II with the brown bomber jacket. He has these camouflage pants, and and on the pants, as you can see, there's a holster there as well. Little knife here on the leg, that's a nice detail. And of course this holster strap goes all the way around. On the brown bomber jacket, I was always kind of disappointed this didn't have white fleece around it. But the black fleece works anyway, and I think that the white fleece would have made him look kind of silly. But anyway, yeah, he's got these black combat boots, standard issued military combat boots. And a little note, here, let me put him over here as I explain this. A little note to point out here before we get to the file card is that a lot of people seem to confuse him as they always say his debut was in G.I. Joe the movie, and this is not true. I don't know if these people have only seen casual G.I. Joe fans, if they have ever actually seen the cartoon series, I don't know. But they always say that his debut was in the movie, and his debut was actually in Arise Serpentor Arise Part 1, was the very first appearance of this particular General Hawk. His appearances in the comic book series, I don't know, because I'm almost ashamed to say I never really read the comic books. I didn't start collecting those until I became an adult collector well in my 30s. So I really don't have a whole lot of comic book background to show you here. I will say that maybe his first unofficial appearance might have been not this Hawk, but the 1982 Colonel Hawk. And maybe we missed it. I don't know. I know that the 1982 Colonel Hawk was the first leader of G.I. Joe. Everyone that's watched the cartoon series will say that it's Duke, but this is the actual very first leader of G.I. Joe ever. And for those of you that don't read those comics, I highly encourage anybody who's a collector of G.I. Joe to please pick up those comics and read them. They are very good comics. I have one or two. I don't have a whole lot. I need to start collecting more and more, maybe either digitally or, on the aftermarket. I don't have the original file card, but I do have the 25th anniversary file card for him. I don't know, can you guys see that? I will read this file card. I don't know if you could see it or not. I will read it. File name, Abernathy Clayton M. I wonder what the M stands for. Primary military specialty, artillery. Secondary military specialty, radar. Oh, radar? Really? Birthplace, Denver, Colorado. Grade 07 Brigadier General, which we know. G.I. Joe Hawk was the original field commander of G.I. Joe team before he got his General Star. Now, I think on the original file card it doesn't say that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure when the Arise Serpentor Arise miniseries came out, that it was established that this was a brand new character, and I don't think that Hasbro would have had that on his file card. But let's read on. This is interesting. G.I. Joe was the original field commander of the G.I. Joe team before he got his General Star and was booted upstairs to Honcho the entire G.I. Joe operation. He's a West Point graduate and has a list of special education credits as long as his arm. But he acquired the main body of his experience out there where it counts, on the battlefield. G.I. Joe Hawk is the type of commander who goes out and gets shot like everyone else. Troops respect that. They know he won't ask them to do anything he isn't willing to do himself. And that's why they are willing to do anything he tells them. And there's a little quote down here at the bottom. A commander must be an example of courage and dedication to his team. He must also be willing to take the heat for his troops, not just the glory. Now, I know I've got this original file card somewhere. Maybe one day I'll find it and I'll just read all these file cards back to back. That's something unusual. One last look at General Hawk. And, I will say that this is the first leader that I had when I was a kid, because I missed that whole Duke Milloway. And most of the stores that are in my area, I come from a small town, didn't really hold a whole bunch of stock of G.I. Joes. And I think also the other thing was He-Man. Let's see, it was 1986. He-Man's still going on. He-Man was still a thing, so it was split up between G.I. Joe and He-Man. But actually, 1982. In 1982, I probably was more into collecting He-Man figures than I was G.I. Joe. But that does it for this G.I. Joe toy review. Now, I know that the two fog cards differ slightly from each other, but not too much. So, let me know what you thought about this review. Like I said, General Hawk was one of my favorites growing up as a child. A shout out to Joe Berg, and a very special shout out to Joe Motion. He needs your help. Give him all the views that you can give. He's an awesome dude. And until next time, this is Hebro77 saying, knowing isn't half the battle, it's the whole damn war.